Hello. Hello. So excited to be here tonight. I got my miracle worker. I got my miracle journal in yesterday, and I already made a video and talked a little bit about it. So I'm excited to be here tonight. And actually, I was thinking maybe we could journal together. Now, I will be honest with you, I don't even want to write in it. So I have a notebook. I have my own journal that I have been keeping, but because I just don't want to write in it, because something like this is like a living document for me. This is something that I will use for years until it falls apart, and then I have to buy another one. So, if you're not familiar with this, you definitely want to check it out. If you are at all thinking about how you can manifest the life of your dreams, everything that you desire, I highly suggest getting this journal, okay? It's actually currently on sale in the shop right now for like $6.99. That's what I got it for. So run, don't walk, grab it from the orange cart if that's something that you want to do. But it's a very well put together journal. And I don't know if you know me, but my name is Tamira. I'm a digital marketing strategist. I have over 30 years of sales marketing and leadership experience. And in my personal life, I am the oldest daughter, the oldest grandchild, and the firstborn niece. And so doing stuff like this is what saves me a lot of money on therapy. Let's just say that. If I'm being honest, right? And shortly after Thanksgiving, like a week after Thanksgiving, I had a cousin pass away. Then like a week after that, another cousin passed away. And then, a week after that, my brother-in-law passed away. So within 2 weeks, I had 3 funerals. So life has been really kind of chaotic. And one thing I love about the month of January is it is the opportunity to get refocused, to reset, to get recentered after all of the holiday stuff, right? Because the holidays, let me know in the comments if this is true for you, but the holidays can be pretty tricky to navigate anyway. And then you add all that other stuff on top of it. And when you're the oldest daughter, the oldest grandchild, and the oldest niece, baby, let me tell you, and I've got 2 adult kids of my own and 2 grandchildren. So let me tell you, being able to journal is something that I learned in middle school, and journaling, I'll tell the story time one day of how I stopped journaling for years and the reason why I stopped journaling. But journaling definitely helped me make it through teen years and earlier on in life. And in 2012, when my grandfather passed away, I picked it back up. And it helped me get through that grief process. So I'm really excited about 2025, even though things do look a little scary right now, right? And so again, that's why something like journaling is great for grounding and getting you refocused and allaying your fears and calming your anxieties and things like that. So if at any time you have any questions, you can just drop them below. I'd love to hear from you, love to know who you are, where you're watching from. If you've got this journal, I also have the Shadow Work Journal, the 2nd edition, and another one of my favorite journals is Rich's Frock from Amanda Francis. I love Amanda and her manifesting process, and I've got several of her courses. And so when she came out with her book, I've got it in electronic format and I've got the Audible version. And then she came out with the journal. And so you'll see, I don't really write in my journals because I go back to them. You can see I did write a little bit in here, but I really tend to not write in here. The one thing I will say about this journal is the writing. Some of the writing is really light, and I would love to see it be a little bit darker. But Amanda is awesome. I know that book is her journal is also available in the shop. I did not add it to the cart though, but it is a great journal. Journal is something that I do a lot. This is my journal right here, so I'm going to write in my journal. But first, let's go through the miracle journal, because this is, for one, it's inspiring me to create my own journal. I'm not going to say about what, but it's inspiring me. I was brainstorming earlier today on creating my own journal based off of this one. And I'm not sure if it's the same person who created this one or not. I'm not sure. I do have the 369 journal on the way to me, and there's 369 scripting in the miracle journal. Okay, so it says, where words create miracles, one page at a time. And on the back is a quote. It says, miracles exist and they are all around you. That gives me goosebumps. That totally gives me goosebumps. Miracles are all around you, right? They exist and they are all around you. And I know from working in corporate America for over 20 years, my last, role was a pretty important role and very high stress, right? Just a lot of stress, probably too much stress for one person, to the point where I began to have nightmares and even would cry on Sunday because I didn't want to go to work on Monday and deal with it. And so knowing, I've always been a very logical, a very practical type person, and where I would get stuck and get challenged was if I couldn't see something. The unknown really got to the point where it just gave me so much anxiety. And in the last 5-7 years, I've really been leaning into the unknown and finding comfort there, and just knowing that what I desire is there. It's already happened. I just don't physically see it yet, but if I believe and I act as if it has already happened, it will happen. And it does. Like December, I manifested some money. Okay, I manifested a launch of my Lumiere path, and manifested a large sum of money in a really short period of time with that process. So I'm really excited to have this journal. There is a QR code. It says scan below for exclusive access, content, bonuses, huge promotions, surprises, and more. Now, I can't come here and journal in this with you every night because that kind of defeats the purpose of you getting the book. So we'll do just a little bit, right? And this is also like kind of part of my, this is part of my end of day routine, where I kind of am setting the stage for when I go to sleep and my subconscious is working, that it is working on my desires. It is working on what I manifest and not my fears, right? So that when I wake up and then I am holding space for my desires and what I want, I have a greater chance of it happening and coming to fruition. So there's a quote here: for life makes no mistakes and always gives man that which man first gives himself. From Neville Goddard. If you know anything about law of attraction and manifesting, you know who Neville Goddard is, okay? So the table of contents, there is an introduction. Chapter 1 is create your reality. Chapter 2 is gratitude is key. I do gratitude in the morning. We'll do some tonight too. I do gratitude in mornings, like before I even get out of bed. Chapter 3 is cultivating your new dream life. Chapter 4 is self-concept and identity, and there are some affirmations in there. I'm sure you've seen some of the videos, and if not, we will go through some of the affirmations. And just so you know, like I have a whole vibe going right now. Like I've got my candles going, I had some incense going, I've got, some good frequency music in the background. You probably can hear it. And so one of the things I do to regulate my nervous system, especially during times like this, when the news is just absolutely insane, I create a vibe for myself. I kind of like tune out a lot of that and just really, focus on what I need to do and what I need to do to not get frazzled and crash out, right? Because I'm too old. I'm at my big age, crashing out is not cute. Okay, I will be 51 in a few weeks. Okay, now one thing I'm gonna tell you too is, like, as we're journaling, I'm a big fan of in the Dynamic Laws of Prosperity, where Catherine Ponder talks about not scattering your forces. I don't share my goals publicly or with other people. I know other people find weight in doing that, but in my experience, it can throw energy off. So we won't be talking about what I'm actually journaling, what I'm writing down in my goals and things, other than things that I may want to share verbally. And that is why, because I don't want my energy thrown off. I have, basically screwed myself out of some big things happening in my life by talking too much, too soon, and to the wrong people. Now, that's nothing against you. But even, I had a close friend that I recently silently cut off, that loved to, want to pry. What are you doing? What's your goal? What's your word for the year? None of your business, right? Because I found with her, she was very good at throwing off energy, right? So energy vampire, cut them off, okay? So chapter 4 is self-concept and identity. Chapter 5 is popular manifestation methods. Chapter 6 is reflection prompts. And chapter 7 is monthly reflections. So it's about a good 140 some pages, 145. So there's welcome to the Miracle Journal. The Miracle Journal is here to serve as your compass on the journey toward calling in your new dream reality. More than just a journal. It is a journey of unlocking the extraordinary potential that lives within you. The Miracle Journal is simply a mirror reflecting just how capable you are of creating. And I also like to think of it as co-creating, because I still am a believer in God. So, and I do believe co-creating, because I still am a believer in God. So, and I do believe co-creating, because I still am a believer in God. So, and I do believe God. Do not disturb real quick. Okay, so it's all about co-creating for me. And I think that's the thing that I was missing for so long, was that like where a lot of people just lean where totally heavy, where it's God, the universe, or whatever they are talking about. For me, is God, and they don't take any action, right? And I was the opposite of that. I was all about action, 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 action. I had to work hard. I had to do everything. And I had to, just constantly be going and constantly be doing, right? And so, like I said, in the last 5-7 years, I've learned rest is productive too. A lot of my manifestation actually comes when I rest. Like, I remember last summer, I had launched my Pin Profits Mastery course. And I, for a few weeks, just worked really, really hard getting it out there and filling the seats and that. And one weekend I was just exhausted, and it was like, it wasn't even a choice. My body just zonked out on me, and I slept like a whole Saturday and most of a Sunday, and the sales just came in like I manifested them while I was sleeping, right? And so that's one of the things that I've learned. Okay, so back to this welcome. Through the power of proven manifesting concepts, the Miracle Journal will become a space where you'll experience the limitless boundaries of possibility and cultivate a profound understanding that your every desire is not just within reach, but yours to claim, and always has been. Are you ready? Love it, love it, love it. I love this. There is a contract basically that you sign with yourself. It's a commitment to self. It's I blank commit to completing the miracle journey with an open heart and mind, and completing it to the best of my ability. I commit myself fully to this self-development journey. I commit to being open to receiving miracles. I commit to expecting the best outcomes and trusting that my desires will find their way to me. I commit to believing in my own power to create miracles in my life. I promise to never give up on myself. And I'm torn. Like, I feel like I should go ahead and write my name in here and sign and date it, because it's only $6. I can buy another one. And today is January 8th. signed it, dated it, and all that good stuff. Okay, so it goes into what is manifestation, how do we manifest. It lists the law of attraction, gratitude. Like I said, like this is someone's intellectual property, so I can't walk you through every single page, but there are things in here that, you know, I do want to share with you. Okay, and it gives you some psychology of manifestation with like some scientific stuff behind it. Okay, so what do we want to journal? Okay, so if you've got a pen and paper and you want to journal with me, please feel free to. We'll just do a page or two, because again, I have to respect, it doesn't list an author, but I have to respect their intellectual property, right? So this is just like a little sneak peek to encourage you, you know, to go ahead and grab the journal. Okay, so how do you attract the things that you desire? Okay, so do you use the law of attraction? I use gratitude a lot. Do you use the law of assumption, which is the belief that assumptions create reality, right? That's that just act as if. I remember that from, what's that movie with Ben Affleck, Boiler Room? Act as if, right? In essence, it involves adopting the mindset that something is already true or has already occurred. So that's why a lot of time when I am manifesting, I will go to the future and I will write a future date, but I'm writing it in present tense as if it is that future date, and what I want to manifest has already occurred. So let me give you an example, right? I sell a lot of beauty and skincare products, right? I've earned international trips, and the first one I earned, that's literally what I did. You can actually go to my TikTok several years ago and you can find the video where I green screened myself at the all-inclusive resort at the rooftop pool, and, you know, manifested I had earned the trip and I was there. And then I went on the trip. My best friend went with me, Beryl, and I went to an awards reception, because not only did I manifest earning the trip, I manifested earning airfare credit. So I didn't even have to pay for my flight to get there. And so I got to go to a reception for earning that upper, you know, that upper level of earning the trip, right? And so I'm up there at the reception, and I'd been up there before, but as I'm sitting there, because I was one of the first to arrive, and they bring me my drink, and I look out and it's sunset, like in that video of, you know, the green screen picture of the video that I put on TikTok of me manifesting this trip, right? And I see the sunset, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I literally, like, I knew I had manifested it, but it really hit me in that moment that I had manifested. And this is where, like I said, you can go to, because I actually did a video about me manifesting it in that way. And then there's a video too where I talk about like using ChatGPT to manifest. You can use, like, so many people are afraid of AI. You can use technology to help you manifest, right? Visualizing. I'm big on visualizing, but sometimes visualizing can be a little bit of a block for me. So I can go to ChatGPT and have it create images and describe, you know, or help me pull out what it is that I am trying to visualize and what it looks like, right? In the case of that trip, I went to the Instagram of the resort, which was a brand new resort, and saw images and began to visualize myself there. Okay, and used, again, technology, the green screen capability within TikTok to place myself there, and then months later it came true. Like, I'm getting chills and goosebumps thinking about it right now. If that hits you, let me know in the comments, because that is just really, really powerful. And that is how my best example for you of the law of assumption, right? One of the biggest challenges I've had in recent years, and I didn't know it because I've always been a, you know, person who has high self-regard, or so I thought, high self-esteem, and you know, self-confident, right? Like I really don't lack in confidence, right? especially compared to most people. I just don't lack in confidence. Like the fact that I can go live and talk for hours, most people don't even want to face the camera for 15 seconds or so. And I can go live and talk for hours. I can get on a stage and talk on a lot of different subjects without having any nerves, right? I went to the School of the Arts as a kid, so I was in theater and all that. I've never been a singer, but I was in theater and, you know, so and did a lot of public speaking, speeches and classes and as part of my education. So that's never been a problem for me. But one of the things that I started to discover was having self-concept issues around being worthy of the next level, being worthy of making certain amounts of money. And that is where like your affirmations come in. And so those are in here as well. And inspired action. Again, it's not just wishing, it's not just dreaming, it's also doing, right? You really get in the space and hold the space of what it is that you want, and then you begin to take a step toward it. You know, there's always that phrase, that saying about if you take one step toward God, he's going to take multiple steps toward you. It's the same thing. That's why they say what you seek is seeking you, right? What you seek is seeking you, and you have to take a step toward it. It's not just sitting up and dreaming and wishing it. You actually kind of have to release it and surrender it, but begin to take actions toward it, right? I was watching Gabby Bernstein earlier today. She's the author of The Universe Has Your Back and a bunch of other books. Like, no, did she do A Course in Miracles, or was that Marianne Williamson? But anyway, and she was saying, you know, surrender is because I learned this one from Catherine Ponder, this or something better, right? This or something better, right? Because one of the things you can do to kind of block your manifestation is you can be clinging on to it too tightly, and that kind of, you know, signals that you don't want it. And, you know, and so it's going to give you what you want and and won't give you what and what you don't want. So you got to, you know, really kind of be like, okay, I want, like if you want a certain car, this or something better, right? If you're manifesting a new job, when you go into an interview, don't be so attached to the outcome. Just go in, take the inspired action, do the application, do the phone interview, go and do the interview and give it your best, and go in with the intention of this or something better, right? This or something better. Like when I learned that was key. Another key thing I learned around self-concept is what God does for others, he does for me and more, right? So that if that takes away jealousy, that takes away envy, when you can look at anything and say, oh my God, I'm so happy for you, because I know that what God does for others, he does for me and more, right? If he's done it for someone else, that's proof. That's proof of concept. And even if what I want, I don't have proof of concept, because he's done so much for me before, he's done so much that I am grateful for, I know that if I do what I'm supposed to do, if I am walking toward it, if I am, you know, doing and living the way that I am supposed to, the things that I desire will make their way to me, right? So imagination and visualization and frequency are the options. So I'm going to read those again. So the first question is, how do you attract the things you desire? Law of attraction, gratitude, law of assumption, self-concept, you know, that's your reflections, your beliefs and ideas, affirmations, inspired action, imagination, and visualization. Okay, so I'm going to fill that in for me. And here's where you can write down for you. Okay, so how do I attract the things I desire? There's one. Do you guys hear that music in the background? Let's see, I've got 3 written down. So one of the things, again, I've learned with self-concept, I'm worthy just because I'm worthy. I don't have to work hard to be worthy. I don't have to struggle to be worthy. That's another one that a lot of us deal with, especially and if you're the oldest child, oldest grandchild, oldest niece, you feel like you have to do a lot to be worthy and earn things, because in a lot of cases we were parentified. We were expected to put the needs of everyone else before us, right? And so to really put ourselves out there and put ourselves first and feel worthy and not feel guilty about it is something that can be tough for us to overcome, okay? So I wrote down 4 things of how I attract. I chose the 4 that I think I use the most, okay? So next, do I believe a higher power exists, and how has this belief influenced me? So you can answer that. Do you believe that a higher power exists, and how has this belief influenced you? I already talked a little bit about this. And so I'll give you a little bit here of what I wrote. So where I said I used to feel like, oh, I had to work really hard, right? Or felt guilty if I just really wanted to focus on me and what I want, right? And so, you know, my worthiness is not related to degrees, to a job, to a company, to a brand. I am worthy simply because I am a child of God, right? I am a child of God, that God, you know, knew me before I was formed in my mother's womb, and that he gave me a specific purpose and assignments here on earth. And I am worthy just because he woke me up this morning, right? Point blank, period, end of discussion, hard stop. I am worthy because I am, right? We as women are often made to feel like we have to jump through all these hoops and dot all these I's and cross all these T's. And when you work in corporate America in particular, yeah, you know, they really will figure out what your triggers are, where they can really use and abuse you. And you know, when you know who you are, you can easier get around that and not be put in position to be used and abused. So the question was, do you believe a higher power exists, and how has this belief influenced you? And so for me, it's I'm worthy because I am, because God designed me and God brought me here for a purpose, and he woke me up. My purpose is not completed, so I am worthy just because I am. Okay. In what ways do you believe you have the power to shape your future and dictate your destiny? This is something I also kind of asked, kind of talked about earlier. Okay, so how confident are you in your power to do so? One thing I would tell you: the more you manifest, the more you will manifest. Does that make sense? The more you manifest, the more you will manifest, right? So what do I mean? You can start off with manifesting $1. You can manifest $10. You can manifest $100. And it just doesn't have to be monetary, right? You can manifest someone buying you lunch. You can manifest someone taking you to Starbucks for the day. You can manifest the help showing up that you need to make a move, or whatever it is. You can manifest it. But the more you manifest, the more you believe and have confidence in your ability to manifest. Because what I manifested in December really changed my perception of what it is that I am capable of creating. So here we are writing and jotting down. In what ways do you believe you have power to shape your future and dictate your destiny? How confident are you in your power to do so? Whoa. Intense heat coming through right now. It feels good though. And I have the fan on in the background. I just don't know that I got to point it in the right direction. Plus I'm sitting on top of this, this blanket behind me too. So that tends to make me heat up a little bit too. Yes, I do believe. And it's okay to say, like, I'm growing more confident in my power day by day. There's really like no wrong answer, right? And if you are not confident, you can say that, because if you buy the journal, which I do recommend that you do, you can then, go back in 30 days, in 60 days, in 90 days, and re-answer that question and see the transformation, see where you are in the future compared to where you were when you first started the journal. I love doing stuff like that because sometimes you forget. It's really easy to forget. Okay. Ooh, this feels good. Oh. Okay. So let me finish writing that. Okay, we'll do this next page, and then we will move into some affirmations. Do you have any beliefs about yourself, the world, society, and your upbringing that you find limit you and your power? Now, this one I might actually have to defer for a little bit, because I remember having some thoughts on this yesterday or earlier this morning, and I'm not sure what they were in this very moment, right? But do you have any beliefs about yourself, the world, society, and your upbringing that you find limit you and your power? For a lot of us, especially as, if you are like I am, the oldest daughter, oldest grandchild, and the oldest niece, you're going to find you might go into it initially thinking that your mother wound is significant here, which it is. I'm not saying it's not, but you would be amazed at the father wound and how the father wound is also impacting this. That's all I'm gonna say about that. The father wound is definitely there and is definitely impacting how, the beliefs that you have about yourself, the world, society, and your upbringing. If you are a woman of color, right? And I'm not saying all women, because I think this applies to all women, but like most things in life, when it comes to women of color, especially women that look like me, things get compounded. Like it can be, and sometimes exponentially compounded, right? So, one of the things where I'm always re-scripting and rewriting my thoughts is that's because I'm right. And I have to reframe that. And what I do is I do a scan. I look around. Well, so-and-so is able to do it, and they look like me, and that person, and that person. Now, it might not be the overwhelming majority, but it is being done. So that means that I can do it, right? But my belief that I can't do it, or not that I can't do it, but that the system, the algorithm, the whoever won't allow me to do it, or is there to slow me down or prevent me from doing it because of what I look like, is a belief that I constantly have to rewrite and say, even if that may be true, I have infinite power to change that and move that and will it to happen for me. Am I making sense with that? Because I think I am, but I'm not sure if it's landing, right? Am I making sense with that? Just because, you know, like, and when I was younger, like the whole idea of going to college, going to a 4-year, like it was just never an option. Once they told me I could do it, I was doing it. There are plenty of people that had something to say. Can you afford it? Will you do this? Can you do that? And I did it. It was never, once I was told that it was an option for me, that I was college material, I was going, right? And that's how you have to become about your beliefs, despite what you may see, despite what others may say, despite what you may hear, right? And sometimes despite what you feel. And it's up to you to control your thoughts and reframe your thoughts to make it happen. So what beliefs do I have about myself, the world, society, and my upbringing? Okay. All right. So next it says, let's tease these beliefs that may limit you and disprove them. See, we just talked about that. And disprove them so that they no longer have the power to control your reality. So we already talked a little bit about that. So we are going to move forward. But I'm going to show you some things in here that I love. Like there's empty spaces and lines. You know, look at that. There's like that big oval to fill in. It's just a really fun, beautifully done work of art, in my opinion, right? So gratitude is the currency of the manifesting world. In order to attract more, we must express gratitude for what we already have. So just think about it and hold space. What are you grateful for, right? I'm grateful for the fact that I am in my warm and cozy apartment when it's so cold outside and there is snow on the ground and there are people right now who are unhoused, right? I'm grateful to have the things that I have, and to have shelter, to have heat, to have warmth, to have electricity, to have the Wi-Fi, the phone service, to be able to go live and share this journal. I'm grateful for the delivery, right? There was a winter storm advisory the other day, winter snow advisory, and this still got here to me very, very quickly. So lots to be grateful for. I'm grateful for clearly not missing a meal, right? I'm grateful for the money in my purse, the money in my bank accounts. I'm grateful for all the customers that I have. Grateful for you being here and watching this stream with me. Some of you have been on here for a long period of time. And so you can see that page here that says that, okay? There's a couple other things I want to show. This, right? So this is what high frequency emotions versus low frequency. And you can find this on like Instagram. You can find that on social media, Google Images. But the highest frequency is unconditional love, followed by peace, joy, gratitude, kindness, enthusiasm. Low frequency is fear. Okay, so I work in sales and marketing, and let me tell you, enthusiasm is definitely high vibrational. It's high frequency. If you want to sell, you need to have enthusiasm. If you don't have enthusiasm, you're going to have a hard time selling. Now, the level of enthusiasm does need to be appropriate for the product and the ideal clients, but you do need to have a certain level of enthusiasm, right? Like I've worked with very wealthy people in my finance career, and when you are working for them, they want you to have a certain level of enthusiasm about the job that you want to be there, right? But when they go in to buy something, they are not going to express a lot of enthusiasm because, you know, it's about power and control. So, you know, this is a great journal. It's really pulling out a lot and got me thinking about a lot of different stuff. Okay. So there's a lot of great images in here. Lots of activities and different things that you can do to really call in your highest life. Okay, so let's go through some of the affirmations and let's see how long we've been on here. Oh, only 40 minutes. Okay. All right, so wealth and abundance. My mind is worth millions. Okay, every penny I spend is returned to me tenfold. I get paid to exist. I get paid every day. Every day I get paid. Every day I get paid just to say it. I get paid. Something like that, right? I don't work for money. Money works for me. I am always at the right place at the right time. So these affirmations are so powerful. One of my favorite affirmations in here is my energy is expensive and exclusive. Again, for me, that goes back to being the oldest daughter, oldest grandchild, oldest niece, right? My energy is expensive and exclusive. Not everybody is worthy of my energy. Not everybody is worthy of my time. And if it's going to cost me my peace, it's too expensive, right? So, like I said, I just silently cut off one of the biggest energy vampires of the last few years, right? You know, in the 48 Laws of Power, he talks about avoiding the unhappy and the unlucky. And this person was very unhappy and very unlucky. Everyone in her household, from the top to bottom, unhappy and unlucky. And I did not want it rubbing off on me. When you get to the point where you know that when a person is texting you and it just gives you like a shrill, or them calling you, just their energy and their presence just lowers your frequency and your vibration, it's up to you to do something about it, right? And so you don't need to feel guilty about it, right? So my energy is expensive and exclusive. Kanye West, when he said my presence is a present, baby, he was spitting. He ate when he said that, right? He ate. My presence is a privilege, right? So these affirmations are awesome. So there's 2 pages of wealth and abundance affirmations. There's a page of self-love and attracting love. And there is one for luck and opportunity. So there are affirmations that I love that are not in this book, okay? And some of them come from Amanda Francis. So my work is of high service and worthy of massive compensation. From Catherine Ponder in the Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. I do perfect work for perfect pay. Okay. People love to pay me. That's Amanda Francis. People love to pay me. Right. And then I've made my own. People love to be in my energy. People love to be around me. And I've had to be careful, right? Because I've also been like, people love to learn from me. People love to soak up energy. But more importantly, people love to pay me, right? People love to pay me. Because when I speak that, I'm attracting that to me. And I don't want just people who love to be in my energy and soak up energy and hear what I have to say. I need them to find value in it and be willing to pay me, not just sit around and soak it up, right? And that's the same for you. So there's a 21-day affirmation challenge. There's so much in here. It's just so good. So good. The 369 method. You've probably seen and heard a lot about this. I actually am waiting on that journal. It should be arriving in the next couple days. This method is a powerful scripting method used to help manifestations become reality. The 369 manifestation method was popularized through social media and is often associated with the teachings of Nikola Tesla. Write down an affirmation or manifestation goal stating what you want to manifest as if it is already yours. Law of assumption, Neville Goddard. Example, I love my new car. Write 2. Write down the affirmation 3 times in the morning to start your day. Write it down 6 times in the afternoon. And finally, before going to bed, write your affirmation down 9 times. The idea is that the repetition of these intentions, numbers, and the focused intention on your manifestation goal will help you align your energy with what you want to attract in your life. who's it? Abraham Hicks, who talks about if you can hold a thought for, what is it, 17, 18 seconds, you can manifest it, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the 9 part of my 369. You are welcome to write down your affirmations and your intentions the 9 times as well. So you know, feel free to chat with me in the comments. You know, you can talk to me. You can talk to me. Okay. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So, you know, I have done this before. A couple of years ago. It's tucked away, but I bought this planner, and it came with a gratitude journal, right? It was like a set. And every day you wrote down, you did your gratitude journal, and you know, you did your affirmations. And I did that every day in the month of January. And not only was my January a record-breaking January, February was insane. February was totes insane, absolutely insane, by writing down those gratitudes every day. Every single morning I started by writing in my gratitude journal, and then I would even do it at night, and the manifesting, the abundance, the prosperity, things were flowing, okay? Things were flowing. So that is why when I saw the Miracle Journal was only $6.99, I had to grab it. I absolutely had to grab it. I believe in, you know, getting something like this, and it's 145 pages, so that can take me through 90 days, right? That's 90 days, and I can do this, run the same journal for the next quarter, or I can go into another journal. But there is so much power in writing down what it is that you are manifesting. There is so much power in writing down. You know, Amanda Francis is, her and Abraham Hicks, they call it rampages, and Amanda calls hers riffing. Riffing is a great way to manifest. In fact, I need to go back and put that in my journal. It's where you just kind of like get in a zone, and you just, you know, when you think of Jimi Hendrix and him riffing with his guitar, you're just kind of doing that with your affirmations and your declarations, and just saying and speaking things into existence, because there's life and death in the power of the tongue, right? And they do it in churches. They do. They might not call it riffing, they might not call it rampaging, but you just kind of like, as a public speaker and somebody who's very passionate, and I have certain gifts, you know, and they're, you know, it's in my DNA. I always tell people my grandfather was a Baptist pastor. We just lost him last January. And you know, sometimes I just, you just kind of zone out. You almost just black out, and you just get to chat, and you just get to going. So, that there's so much power in that, because it's like you can go from, having a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear, and you can riff your way out of that, right? Because where's that frequency chart? Because you can, when you look at that chart of emotions, where is it? Fear being at the bottom, as you riff, you're literally escalating, you're elevating yourself into, you can raise your vibration. Another way to raise your vibration is music, right? You can use music to raise your vibration. You can, but the wrong music will bring your vibration down, will bring your frequency down. I remember when I was working in banking, and one day I just was really aware of my mood, and it was like, you know what, I gotta stop listening to certain music on my way to work. I gotta stop, because I'm walking into work, and my facial expression, my body language, and people are reading it incorrectly. I can't listen to that stuff on the way to work. When I'm working out, yes, right? When I'm, partying and stuff like that, maybe. But on my way to work, I gotta find better musical choices, so that my aura. Okay, so grab the journal. It's only $6.99. You can get it with the orange card in the card below. And I got a family thing I gotta attend to. So I will chat with y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.